Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Goatmilk, episode 11. This is the greatest podcast of all time. It's in the name. So, I think this is just me today. No guest, and it's a very strange time we're living in. And I just thought it would be nice to make an update video. Um Today was the first time I really left my house in like 2 to 3 weeks about. Nah, I'd say 2. 3 no, about okay, 2 weeks, about 2 weeks. Um, my friend Isabella is currently her building is quarantined because someone in her building has the virus, and so now like the elevators are blocked off. She can't leave. She can only walk in her halls, and it's tough for her. She's just chilling out. There's a building next to my school on the same street that's quarantined as well, so everything's really close. Um, yeah, I mean, and so much more footage is coming out of what really happens. At the beginning of all this, before it was really serious, I was biking, I was going out, I was hanging out, and then, well, now I'm staying inside just to stay safe, but I'm seeing footage of people who are like critically ill, and like, it doesn't, it just, I never saw that side of it being so severe, so it's pretty interesting to see that, and makes me want to stay inside even more. Uh, Life here, I mean, I don't know. It's a little like I'm one to want to get outside, and staying inside is cool, but to an extent. Um, I usually like, let's say it's a weekend or Friday night, and I just stay home. I'll go insane. I hate being home. I mean, no, I love being home, but I hate being home when I have an opportunity to go out and do something. Maybe my friends aren't available, or there's something limiting me, and I really don't like it. Um, and so maybe that'll happen like once every 2 weeks or something, where I don't really do anything. I stay inside and I get really antsy. I get aggravated. My mood changes, and I feel like I've been inside for so long, as someone who wants to be outside, that like I've passed the threshold of just being annoyed to the point where like my pretty much my whole mood has changed. I mean, I have good moments, especially when I play with. I've been playing a lot of Minecraft because that's a really fun thing to do. Usually when I finish my work for the day. Um, yeah, as someone who just wants to be outside, I feel like just things are really mellow now, and it's like I don't feel antsy anymore because I know I have to stay inside. But it's just it's just been strange. I haven't been as upbeat, you could say. Um, my room is a complete mess. I just leaving stuff everywhere. Kind of not. I mean, right next to me, I'm at my windowsill for those who are not watching on YouTube and or listening. My 3D printer's here. I've got some cool stuff. I've got like 2 face masks. I've got a can of spray paint. I've got my drone, some candy wrappers, an empty tea bottle, pack of gum, my AirPods. My backpack's on the floor. It's a mess. I think I'm gonna make a sole video just for cleaning my room up, because I mean, at least make it fun, right? And I'm getting like, there was a little pocket where I didn't make any videos because I was planning to make a short film, and that just so many things made it delay, and now there's no chance of a short film at all. I really want to make one, but just not now. So I'm just getting back into videos, and what a perfect time to make videos. I have tons of time on my hands, and so I have a couple things that I want to do. Also, I think my eyesight is getting worse because I'm spending so much time on a screen, whether it's for school or for gaming. I feel like, and I already have like kind of bad eyesight, so I don't know what's happening there. So that's why I'm wearing my glasses, because from this distance, like I wouldn't be able to tell if I was in focus or not. That's why I usually put on my glasses when I'm setting up my camera to check, and then I take them off for the video. But I just feel like wearing them right now. And I used to not be able to. I still kind of can't really, but it's hard to look at things close, but it's a lot easier now, which makes me feel like my eyesight makes me feel like I'm more dependent on my glasses. If I wanted to, I could go out biking. I could go out, but at this point, I'd just rather stay inside. I feel like it's growing on me, and so I know some people, or I don't. I'm sure some people, since the beginning of this staying at home thing, before everyone had to stay inside, like it was borderline mandatory, um, people had not gone out, and I know that's not good for your health. Even me, I'm like, this just, it kind of sucks now. I was really enjoying it because I was able to go outside, but this just sucks. Um, and yeah, so my sleep schedule. So I've been going to bed extremely late because, like, maybe on a school night, I would be like, oh crap, it's 11. I should probably get to bed and, get a good night's sleep. But now I'm like, oh, it's only 11. I've got the whole night ahead of me. I go to bed late and have to wake up early for classes, and I'm able to. Yeah, I'm kind of like mentally checked out sometimes when I wake up early for classes, but at least I show up, and it's just it's really strange to just be at home and just have these weird hours. Um, it's nice to I have time to practice my guitar. I have time to make videos. You can binge on a show. I mean, there are benefits to this. There's definitely I've been playing a lot of games, and that's a lot of fun. I've been playing with my um, cousin Ethan, who was episode 8. I think he was episode 8 or 9. Ethan and Isabel, and so we've been playing Minecraft, and that's really fun. Just building stuff, exploring. We're trying to find a jungle, things like that. Um, yeah, and it's just I just wanted to make a little update podcast just so people know what's happening. Um, I saw something that was kind of interesting, and people are like I think it was Ellen who was crying or something because she was quarantined. She was staying inside, and people are like, "Oh, boo-hoo! You and your mansion and all your money." And I think that's a little bit dumb because celebrities um, are people, and I don't know. I don't really think it matters what your living situation is. I mean, obviously you'd be more comfortable in a house like that, but you can still feel the effects of quarantine. I mean, people are giving celebrities crap for trying to make things better by sharing their stories online or whatever about their life in quarantine. Um, but I don't think people should just ignore the fact that they're also people and that they have to stay inside. I mean, if you live in a mansion, what's really different between me staying in this apartment and like Kendall Jenner staying in wherever she lives, really nice house. Like, I mean, maybe she has a pool and maybe she can go swimming, okay? Because I know that she's spending as much time on her phone as she is. And you know what? I'm probably even doing more because I make videos. I mean, what can you really do on quarantine when you don't have school? You know? Oh, yeah, I want to talk about my daily life here. So I made a video. It was kind of like joking. It was a joke. It was a satirical video. Um, basically, I go to bed kind of late, past 1 usually. I get up in the morning. I attend whatever classes at 8 a.m. And then I stay up for the rest of the classes. Or usually I have my first class and I take a little nap until the second class and I just get started with my day. I would go do a lot of work at my friend Isabella's house just because she has these really big windows and it's always filled with light and it's just really peaceful and quiet. And I would go do work with her. And but not anymore. That's not the case anymore. And so now I just get up. I try to be productive, but it's difficult. I lose focus or it's just difficult too. But I'm getting my work done. My grades have improved while being at home. It's fun to manage my time. I have a calendar. Oh, this morning I went to go renew my passport. This is my first adult passport. So hopefully we're going to renew it for 5 years, depending on what the Canadian government says. And they needed a form of identification with my photo and signature, and that can only come with something like a license. But I've never lived in Canada, so I don't have any form of identification like that. So we had to find like old records, like my citizenship and my school card and my insurance card, hospital card, things like that. And so now we're just gonna wait to see. Now we're just waiting for a new passport to be sent to us. But it was pretty interesting because we went the first time and then we were missing some documents, so we had to go back home, do all this stuff, and then like 2 weeks later we went back with all the required documents. and there was nobody in District 1. I live in District 7, which is like suburban area of Ho Chi Minh City, and it's actually not really Ho Chi Minh City. It's leased by a Taiwanese company, and within the next 20 years, it will be given back to Ho Chi Minh. But I mean Phu My Hong, not District 7. Like Phu My Hong, where I live, in District 7, is leased by a Taiwanese company, um, and it has been for the past 30 years. Um, and so it's pretty calm here, even when in quarantine. There's really not much happening. Um, but when you go to District 1, this is like party central. There's tons of traffic. People are walking the streets. There's always stuff happening. And it's a weekday, so it's a little bit calmer, but there's still tons of people. And there was literally no one. I was walking with my dad, and when we moved here when I was 2, which was in 2005. Yeah. My dad would tell me that, because I don't remember, but he would say that like um, there would be no cars in the streets. It'd be so quiet, barely anyone. And we're walking. He was like, it was exactly like this because there was just barely any cars. We were at the building next to the Notre Dame church, and there was like nobody there. We walked in. They checked our temperature, put on some hand sanitizer. Some buildings you can't enter without a mask, which is understandable, but it's hard to breathe with a mask on. I don't really like it, but safety. And yeah, it was just really interesting to see how empty it was. But it was also nice. We went to a McDonald's that was empty. I got a Big Mac. We walked around. We went to Vivo City. They have one in Singapore as well, which is a mall. And there was nobody there. My dad went to get some drumsticks. No one there. And then we went to Crescent Mall, which is another shopping area. Went to a music store there to pick up a different brand of sticks that my dad wanted, Pro Mark sticks. And no one there. So life is different here, and it's really interesting. Yeah. I've been watching a lot of Rhett and Link, a lot of Good Mythical Morning. I go through periods when I enjoy things like I'll binge on like David Dobrik, then I'll take a really long break, and maybe I'll find myself binging again. I would just watch the hell out of Good Mythical Morning, stop for a while, then get back into it. I've been watching Good Mythical Morning since I was like, must have been like 8 or 9, so for years. And it's probably still is one of my favorite online shows. It is my favorite online show. Yeah, and I really enjoy it, and I'm just amazed at how, because I always thought that Rhett and Link, for those who don't know, Good Mythical Morning is an online show, new episodes every weekday. They eat like crazy food and stuff. These two best friends who became friends in first grade, and now they're adults. They're 40, in their early 40s. But I saw an interview they did with Vice, and they showed the entire behind the scenes of the whole operation, and it's literally like a full on. I don't know how to. I mean, it's basically like you're watching the behind the scenes of Jimmy Fallon. There are these super nice cameras, and there are these guys behind the screens with the scripts, and they have like the different title cards, like the intro or of Good Mythical Morning, or they have the like little pauses in between. All of this for like an internet show, and I'm questioning if that's necessary, because I know but I mean, if they're doing an episode every day, they need producers, they need guys who make the food, they need set makers, they need the guys who do the editing, who do the Instagram videos, who do the social media posts, stuff like that. So it's such a big operation. I thought it was like 4 to 10 people and like 3 cameras, right? But it's so much more than that, and it was just really interesting to see. And according to Social Blade, they make about like $4 million a month from ad revenue, just because their views are so good, and they're like a class A channel just because they're so consistent with their views. But they created a brand called Mythical that I think stemmed from Good Mythical Morning, and they have mythical clothing. You can become like a tier 3 member on their website. They make lip balm and beard oil and this and that and clothing and mugs. They have their own chia pets, or chia, those things you put water and like the hair grows as leaves of themselves. And like they have a podcast. They have a channel for their chefs that make all the wacky food. They have so much all under the name Mythical, which is so amazing. But I was listening to their podcast, Ear Biscuits, and this I saw an episode about their third friend, Ben, who had passed away and never really joined them on this huge adventure. Um, but it was such an interesting. It was the first podcast episode I've ever watched all the way through, and it was such an interesting episode. I really enjoyed it, and it was just how, at the time, not anymore. They're agnostic now after serious processing. But they were so religious that every time they went to talk to their friend Ben, who was dying, it was to try and get him to have faith and say a prayer so that he would be accepted into the kingdom of heaven, into Jesus' arms after he passed away. And then it's just mostly Rhett, because he was closer friends with him than Link was, just thinking back and thinking, like, I wish I could have just had a conversation with him without having religion involved, with it just being him and I, not me trying to convince him to do something or try to edge him to make a decision where he was probably thinking about so many other things, And it was a really meaningful episode. And this is the first time you see Rhett cry, which was also interesting, because I think you see Link cry when his grandfather passed away, and they spoke about it on Ear Biscuits. But this time you really see Rhett be so open and emotional. So it was a really interesting episode to watch. I recommend you check out Ear Biscuits. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say. Just want to make this podcast to check in, release an episode, because why not? And that's basically it. So stay safe. Use hand sanitizer, wash your hands for 20 seconds. Try to stay away from people. Stay in your house. Even though it's difficult, stay in your house. That's worth it, because you don't want to get sick just because you've needed some fresh air. Just open your window or something. And I wish the best to anyone watching this. And this episode of Goatmilk will be available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and literally wherever you get your podcast from. Also, there's a link in the description which shows like lesser known mediums in which you can reach my podcast, in case you listen on one of those. So go check that out. Also, if you're thinking of starting your own podcast, I made a video explaining the process. If there's anything I miss, you can let me know in the comments, and then I'll try to elaborate on those in separate videos. Yep, that's basically it. All right. Well, have a good one. Yes. All right. Goodbye.